Hello everyone, welcome to my 30 subscriber special. Since I recently reached 30 subscribers, I thought about doing a special video this time. So lately, I've been watching a lot of videos about national parks and stuff like that, but people like going to them, visiting them, and ranking them based upon popularity and sites and overall what they have there. So I was thinking about doing a similar video to that for my 30 subscriber special. So there's the National Park Service. It encompasses many different places across the country. You got national parks, national historic sites, national memorials, national monuments, national rivers, grasslands, seashores, etc. So out of all of those, there's only 63 actual national parks. The first one was Yellowstone National Park in Wyoming, which was established in 1872. And the most recent one was New River Gorge in West Virginia, which was established back in 2020. So I've only been to 6 of the 63. I hope to get to more down the line. But like I said, I've only been to 6 because most of the places I visit are like all the other stuff I listed. So the ones that I've been to are Cuyahoga Valley, Great Smoky Mountains, Everglades, Hot Springs, Grand Canyon, and the Gateway Arch. So I'm going to rank them from number 6 to number 1, and then I'm going to throw in an honorable mention, okay? So the honorable mention is Buffalo National River in Arkansas. And the reason why I'm listing as an honorable mention is because even though it's technically not a national park, it feels like one. So you got the Buffalo River, which goes to the park. It's a designated federal protected river. So what you can do there is you can go boating down the river, kayaking, things like that. You can do a lot. You can do some hiking. You can do horseback riding, and many other activities. So when I was there, I went hiking at Lost Creek Gorge. Did that. This was back in 2020 when I went. So like I said, there's the Lost Canyon Gorge. There's also, I didn't get a chance to see it because it was a pretty long walk. It was like 6 miles 6 miles one way, 6 miles back, but they have what's called Hemden Falls. And it is the highest waterfall in between the Appalachians and the Rockies, because the Ozarks are the highest mountain range in between both mountain ranges. But yeah, it was really neat experience. Like I said, even though it's not technically a national park, it definitely feels like one. Number 6 on my list is Gateway Arch National Park in St. Louis, Missouri. And if you've been there, you can understand why I put it the lowest, because the arch is nice, all right? I'm not discrediting the arch in general, but it doesn't feel like a national park. Doesn't. It's just all that's there is the Gateway Arch, a little small park with like a pond or something like that. And then across the street from there, you got the courthouse where the Dred Scott decision was decided in 1857. And that's all there is. It's really small. In fact, it's the smallest national park in the country. Number 5, Grand Canyon National Park in Arizona. I know you guys will be like, why do you have it that low? And the reason why I have it that low is because I went there when I was like 6 years old. I don't remember the exact year, but I went there when I was 6 years old with my dad. We flew out there. I remember a little bit of it, but I really don't remember a whole lot. And that's the only reason why it's kind of low. So, but nonetheless, it's very beautiful. The Grand Canyon is like a mile deep, at least a mile deep. I think at the most it's like 15 miles wide. Lots of open spaces, lots of scenery. You can do hiking, kayaking, boating down the river. You do some horseback riding. And also there's a train that goes from Flagstaff to the Grand Canyon you can take. I took that when I was a kid, and that was really cool. Number 4 on my list is Hot Springs National Park. And until the Gateway Arch became a national park, Hot Springs was actually the smallest. So it's a nice park. I'm not discrediting it. There's some stuff to do, but there really isn't a whole lot to do. I went there back in 2020, back the same when I went to Buffalo National River. So what's interesting about this park is you have you have some hot springs that are outside, but there's also a ton of, in the town of Hot Springs, there's a ton of bathhouses from the 1800s that you can go visit. In fact, you can still take a bath in the hot springs water today. So there's hiking, there's and then also it's a tourist town, so there's a lot of touristy stuff that you can do in the town. I didn't do it because of the pandemic, but there's a tower, there's an observation tower where you can overlook the city of Hot Springs and then all the mountains around and stuff like that. If you're there, I definitely recommend going to Goat Rock. It's like an observation point along one of the trails that you can oversee the mountains there. And then also there's Balance Rock. You should check that out as well. Number 3, Everglades National Park in Florida. So I went there this past Christmas, back in Christmas of 2021. I've been to Florida many times throughout my life, but I've never been to the Everglades before, so I thought about checking that out. And the Everglades is pretty interesting. It's the largest subtropical environment in the U.S. It's massive. It's massive. It's one of the largest national parks. So you can do some I definitely recommend doing an airboat tour. I did an airboat tour, and I saw probably like 7-8 alligators on it, and that was really cool. You can do some walks, but there really aren't hiking trails per se. There's in the middle of the park, there's this area called Shark Valley, and there's a trolley that takes you to an observation tower that overlooks the area. You can also use that trail for biking and walking if you want. And if you go, don't be surprised if you actually see gators, because when I was there, I saw a gator about 7 feet from me. 7 feet from me when I was walking down that pathway. But yeah, check out my video of that. Number 2, Cuyahoga Valley National Park in Ohio. And personally, I really like Cuyahoga because I'm from Ohio. I know it's a little bit biased, but as an Ohioan, I love Cuyahoga Valley. It's a unique national park. It's small. It's in between Akron and Cleveland, and while that may seem like there's not a lot to do, but it's unique in its own way. It's, even though it doesn't have like the grand fact, even though it's not grand over the top like all the parks out west, it's still pretty unique, and it offers a lot of different activities. Like there's Brandywine Falls. It's a really big, beautiful waterfall. It's the largest one in Ohio as far as I know. There's 2 other waterfalls, Blue Hen and Bridal Veil. There's a lot of hiking that you can do. There's biking along the Towpath Trail. Towpath Trail is a old mule route that was used back during the canal days. The Ohio and Erie Canal went through this area, and it was used a lot in the 1820s, 1830s. There's a canal museum there that goes over the history of the canals. You can do some biking along the Towpath Trail. You can do some canoeing down the Cuyahoga River. There's a lot of different things to do there. It's kind of a underrated park. It's the only national park that has a train that goes from either end of the park. I recommend doing that. It's the only park that has like farms on it where you can help plant, pick, even buy some fruits and vegetables and stuff like that. It has like a live entertainment place, has market, it even has some ski slopes there. But yeah, it's like a unique park. It has some amenities that not that many other parks actually have. And then also, if you want to do some more hiking, there's this cool area that I would check out. It's called the Ledges. It's kind of like a sandstone cliff area. And when you're done with the trail, it goes to like an overlook, so you can overlook the Cuyahoga Valley. Number 1, Great Smoky Mountains National Park in Tennessee and North Carolina. If you've been there, you know why it's number 1 on the list. Big mountains, some of the biggest mountains east of the Mississippi. There's a ton of hiking. There's hundreds of miles of trails. In fact, the Appalachian Trail goes right smack dab in the middle of the park, which runs from Maine down to Georgia. Long trail. So there's a ton of places you can go to. There's personally, I like going to Cleveland's Dome. It's the highest point in Tennessee, and it's the highest I've ever been on land, not counting an airplane. It's 6,643 feet. There's a ton of waterfalls that you can see, ton of like little small frontier towns. I definitely recommend going to Cades Cove, and there's also there's Chattahoochee and Cosby and stuff like that. Another thing I also recommend is there's a motor trail that you can go through near Gatlinburg, where you can stop off and see waterfalls, little log cabins, mills, things like that. That's like a little easy way to see some of the park without actually going far off trail. And there's a ton of waterfalls, like I said. Personally, my favorite's Grotto Falls. I first went there when I was like 7 or something like that, and ever since that, I really started I really liked that place. It's special to me. If you like to go to like touristy stuff, like towns or whatever, in Tennessee you got Gatlinburg, and then in North Carolina you got Cherokee. Both are at either end of the park. But that's my countdown of all the national parks I've been to. I hope to go to, like I said, I hope to go to more in the future. I'm hoping either this year or next year to go to New River Gorge in West Virginia, and then Indiana Dunes, of course, in Indiana. So yeah, and then of course, who knows what will take me in the future. I hope to also see some out west. But whenever I go to some more, I'll talk about them. I might make a new video to this so I can add more to it and move things around. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching the video. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave some comments down below, like if you've been to these places before. Tell me what your experience was with them, and so on and so forth. But anyway, thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.